if you're a Punjab fan, then you better be taking some medication to calm your heart rate down because they don't make it easy for you to be a fan. I'm Gaurav Kapur. You're watching My 11th Circle presents Cricbuzz Live. Punjab has won the match. They did their level best not to, Pommie. Just at the end. What was
Goodness.
While Pommie's had a very emotionally turbulent day today. I have to tell you. And those last 3 overs.
Remain calm. I'm gonna remain calm, okay?
Let me just tell people, those last 3 overs, they went into the last 3 overs needing 11 runs or something? They've managed to take it down to the last ball. 1 run required a 1. And Pooran manages to hit a 6, which goes just, I think, a few inches over the fielder's fingers. Harsha, what did you? I'll tell you what I saw. I saw a team that was just scared to close it out. They were scarred from all that had happened to them and said, we'll do it in singles. And those 18 balls just went by so quickly they didn't realize.
It's like your mom's baked a cake and said, just take it out to the dining table. And you take it to the dining table, and before putting it on, you trip when it's on the ground. It's a bit like that.
No, better still. Your mom has done that. That has happened. But a week later, she's baked another cake, and she's asked you to take it to the dining table, and you remember tripping and falling, and now you are very afraid to pick up the cake and walk to the dining table.
No, you know what you do? Then you take the cake, you lie down on your stomach, and you crawl to the dining table. You get there eventually, but the dog almost eats the cake because you're crawling on the floor. That's what happened.
Enter the dog.
There you go. It was just, you've got Chris Gayle and Rahul firing. And just give you a little background story to all our viewers. We're watching the game here with Pommie. They've got 15 balls to go. Pommie actually says, I like the fact, and I'm young and impulsive. I want things to finish quick. I'm like, come on, boom, boom, bam, finish the game. Pommie's like, I'm liking this patience. I'm liking this calm. They're going to get it across the line. Would you like to reconsider that statement, Mr. Mbangwa?
So you need to qualify my statement, right?
No, that makes the story weaker.
No. The story still stays strong because of how it ends up finishing. But if folks, you're sitting at home and you're thinking, easy game, this, do what needs to be done, blah, blah, blah. You've got to put context to it. And that's why Harsha's story is so, his analogy is so pertinent. You've got to put context to it. Here's a side that have 2 points. Here's a side that they should have got over the line a couple of times and stumbled at the last hurdle, got into super overs, lost super overs, lost by a run not by a run, not by 2 runs, by an inch in another game. Do you know what I'm saying? So all of this just goes straight into there with even a player who comes into the side who you think brings a new energy. No. Not I'm going to hit a 6 out the ground because I'm the universe boss and we're going to win this like bosses. We got to take ones, make sure we get over the line. And oops, we nearly don't get there.
Yeah,
and the reason is that the universe boss might be able to hit big ones out of the ground, but the universe boss is Jamaican, but no Usain Bolt.
Oh, there you go.
Running.
He doesn't. You don't run.
The plot thickens.
You don't run if you're universe boss. Running is not for bosses. Running is for the employees, for the regular Joes, not for the bosses. But the thing is,
it's like that old story, which apparently is not true, but it's a great story anyway, about Graham Pollock batting with Jonty Rhodes. Towards the end of his career, Jonty, this young kid who's scampering 1s and 2s, and at one point, Graham Pollock puts up his hand and says, young man, the athletic stops, the cricket begins.
It's true. Gave us a lot of cricket, though, Chris Gayle. He gave us a lot of cricket. You could tell that he was missing the cricket, and he gave us a lot of fireworks. And yes, Pommie's got a great point about how you get scarred. And I think that the lesson that we learned from it, that with that kind of pressure, with that kind of history, with that kind of emotional scarring almost, it doesn't even escape the best. KL Rahul, Chris Gayle, the best, the most experienced captain, playing cricket for 22 years on the other side. Chris Gayle, big hitter. Sometimes it can bog them down as well. That's what a string of losses can end up doing for that team. But, well, that string is stopped because Punjab must be saying, for the rest of the league stage, can we just play Bangalore, please? Because those are the only 4 points that we've picked up. The 2 wins against Bangalore, 1 and 2. And there you go. Bangalore got 171. Punjab got to 177 on the last ball. That's 6 that was hit by Nicholas Pooran. Strike rate 600. Excuse. Man of the match. Strike rate 600.
But Ultra super striker of the match. Yes.
He's commentary from his room. He's doing commentary from his room.
He's doing commentary from his room. But spare a thought. I just spare a thought for Nicholas Pooran. He's like, one sec. I was just getting my feet up. You boys were getting it done. Now, why am I in the middle of this one ball to face?
That's some pressure.
Why am I here? What did I do? There you go. He was just sitting on the side whistling a tune, and suddenly he's in the middle. So really, but let's just
look
pull
what
it back.
It's done, Gaurav. Look what it's done. As you said right at the start, it was a run chase. They chased down 171, won by 8 wickets. It's taken us 7-8 minutes to talk about this because they almost messed it up. That's what happens, as you were saying a little while ago. When you run it so close, you actually forget that they've won a game with such a beautiful run chase, Pommie.
But Pommie, does that happen? Does that? I mean, the thing is, they have got the 2 points. Just that hiccup of the last over, does that sort of dent a little bit of the confidence they would have taken in case they had done it in 19.1, for example?
No, not in this case. Because prior to this, they were all pretty and, looking good, bluster, but no points. They were looking good. They played all the cricket in just about all their games, certainly at the start, and didn't get the points. So this one was not about how they look and how they play. It was about, do they get 2 points? They got the 2 points. Done. Job done. Happy. In the change room, that's all they talk about.
I hope so. I hope that's what it is, because this is a good Punjab team. It is, and they showed today how good they are. There's Mayank Agarwal, who gets a 45 of 25, and I'm just thinking that with Chris Gayle in the team, Mayank's going, hang on a second. I want to be opener. Everybody wants to be opener. One guy is universe boss. The other guy is the captain. Guess who's going to 3?
Yeah.
It's going to be me. Unless I really turn it up, and boy, did he turn it up today. That was fantastic from him.
He's in such good form. I mean, and there's certain class about his shot making. If you saw the one he hit over cover early on, that's not an easy shot.
Yeah, a couple. There were a couple hit over extra cover.
Yeah, over extra cover. He's in such tremendous form. He's now told Chris Gayle, boss, tusi great ho, but maybe Mank, I'm also doing all right.
It's a 45 or 25 is a solid knock, right? That's a Chris Gayle kind of knock.
Especially for a star team in a tricky run chase.
Yep.
I think a couple of things must be borne in mind here. The first thing is that we must understand that at this time of the season where we're talking about pitches slowing down, the critical period is the beginning period. And yes, I was sitting here saying, make sure, universe boss goes in first, wastes no deliveries, right? And they've gone the other way and said this, and as Harsha said, this is the part that was working for them. They've been going well in power plays. They've got 2 guys who have a relationship that's going particularly well, and they can take the game forward for their side if they just bat how they've batted through the tournament. They've gone out there, and in fact, they've put their foot on the accelerator a little bit and put their opposition under pressure. And so having done that, they've made sure that the first part of the game is taken care of, and it's done really well. The part I think we mustn't underestimate as well is the adjustment of Chris Gayle, because when is it that he's whoever walked out into the middle whipped the field back, and he must get started and then go and make sure that it works out. Whoa, that was pressure on him. And you got to give him kudos for having worked it out and been successful in the end.
I think what happens here is that with Chris Gayle, actually, if you think about it, that's a really good point, Pommie. But just as a counter to that point, I'd say that if Gayle is anyway going to just sort of defend and get in 10, 11 balls and then swing, when he swings, it doesn't matter if they, like you said earlier in the pre-show, it doesn't matter if they're standing on a 30-yard circle or on the boundary, because he's going to send it to the road. So in a way, you've optimized Mayank and KL, given them the advantage, saying because Gayle in Sharjah doesn't need that advantage of the power play, because he's just going to defend, and then when he hits, he's just going to hit them out of the park anyway. I'm just saying as a counterpoint, something to think about. Harsha,
and I think it's a fair point.
Harsha, sorry, you
were.
Look
at how his innings progressed. He's come in, first 3 overs, only 10 come.
Yeah.
He is 6 of 14 balls. Next 22 hits 44.
Yeah.
And all of them typical trademark straight. I mean, Gayle doesn't bother hitting sixes here and there. Gayle just goes straight. And it was that burst, 44 of 22, that turned the match so much their way and made what should have been a walk. It made it a walk in the park. It's just that they converted it into an obstacle course. But it was a walk in the park at the end.
Yeah, and that's the beauty of Rahul and Mayank at the top, that Rahul and Mayank are really working. But the Gayle and Rahul partnership as well. You think that they started cautiously, but then when they get 93 of 66, they pretty much guarantee the win. Forget the hiccup in the last over. And then you just see that, fine, they really executed this run chase well for 95% of the time, right? And if you just forget.
So the reason I think it is necessary to dwell a little bit on your point, Gaurav, that you made, is that let's shift the ground, right? Let's go to Dubai, let's go to Abu Dhabi, and let's have the same game played or same situation played with Kings 11 Punjab having to go and chase, and Gayle walking in with the power play well done and well played. It's a different story, right? And you also then, because of the bigger boundaries, because of the potential mishits that don't go off the ground, it's a different game you must play. So yes, he's done it well. And yes, they've chosen the right way because it's worked in the end, particularly because the conditions allowed them and they read them. And I'd say we're going to go on to the other side. They also were allowed quite a bit in that. Not the best bowlers bowled all the time. So the tactics for me, I'm wondering. And this is not 2020, vision because you're going on hindsight. You just need to have your best bowlers bowl.
It's clear. It's clear. I mean, there should be no debate about it. But Harsha, do you think that Punjab cleverly, I don't know, maybe a conspiracy theorist, maybe I'm reading too much into it, but this could also be a little decoy strategy saying, listen, they have got Washington Sundar lined up against Gayle because Gayle opens. You never think of Gayle not opening. We did half our mid-show about Gayle opening, right? That's what you think happens. Suddenly you say, Gayle's not coming out. Wait, I'm not going to bowl Washington Sundar in the power play, because it just baffles you. I'll show you the numbers while you react to that. It baffles you that you would not play your ace of spades in the power play.
I think you might well be right, because I think the captaincy there might have been a bit reactive, as if to say, look, I'm going to have Washington Sundar for Gayle. So when Gayle comes in, I'll get Washington Sundar in. So he probably pushed him further back, or maybe he thought, look, these two boys are wonderful players of spin. They'll go over the top with Washington Sundar. Maybe he's better bowling to overseas batsmen. I don't know whether thinking was like that or no. But I won't be surprised if he thought, I'll hold Washington Sundar back for Chris Gayle. So it might well have been reactive. So sometimes, I mean, I don't know. I mean, captains can get reactive. Sometimes you just play your cards, right?
Yeah. So, and I think those are all fair thoughts. And Virat is sharp. He is sharp. And it's fair enough. You know, he thinks, I want these two guys to bowl at those two guys. But time runs away, doesn't it? And when time runs away, you're going, well, okay, I wanted those guys, But now I don't have the 8 overs to bowl him because there are only 6 overs left in the match.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
and hold on, wow, what happened? You know, and this game is like that. So yeah, it can happen. As we talked at the start of the game, that things were working really well for RCB, and so it meant that it was just like a river, flow along, no issues.
Yeah.
Bowl, this guy does well, bowl, that guy does. So you're not going to plan B and plan C. You're not mixing and matching. All of a sudden today, you're like, whoa, hold on, knocked off your step a little bit. Which do we do? And all I'm saying is, who are the guys who've done well in the power play? Who are the guys who've done well in the power play against, in your opposition? What do you want to do? You want to match the guys who are bowling best in the high pressure situations against the guys in your opposition who are doing the best in those high pressure situations, even if it means 1 over. So 1 off Sundar, 1 off Chahal, and maybe it's the other way around because the right-handers are going. So come, Yuji, we want you to take the pace off here. Our pacers are getting pasted, right? Because these guys are in top form. They're not bowling badly, but these guys are in top form. We knew this was our challenge. But if we take the pace off, maybe you can do one of them. Into the attack, maybe he gets pasted. You're like, okay, wait, you need to come in the middle. Right. Washington, here we go. You'll go. Let's see. He goes, maybe he gets pasted. Maybe he gets a wicket. You don't know, right? But at the end, all your best guys, all of them, have got to have had the opportunity to affect the game.
Yeah.
All of them.
Yeah, I think Bangalore's will perhaps look back to this game and say we've been defensive with our batting strategy, with our bowling strategy. Batting, of course, AB de Villiers coming. Sorry? Yeah.
Sorry, I don't want to interrupt you, Gaurav. Virat's admitted that they tried to go left, right, and kept pushing ABD down.
Which is what we thought, right? With Shivam and Washington coming, that they tried to do the left, right. But when you have a guy like AB bats left as well. I've seen him switch hit. He bats left as well. You just tell AB, come in and bat left-handed. Just bat left-handed, AB. Can you do it? And he can.
Doesn't matter what hand he bats. I mean, I'm thinking matchups. Okay, Virat Kohli 2014 matchup gets out to Anderson. Virat Kohli goes 2018. You don't send him to bat against Anderson. So what?
And that's the point. But to further add to the point, I think, can someone tell them, RCB, that they're just a little bit good, and they should puff their chest out and say, no, we're not defending. You defend against us. We're gonna come at you. And what do we have? We've got Virat, legend. Yeah, I'm smashing you. Well, we've got AB. We're coming. We're smashing you. Do whatever you like, but we're smashing you.
Yeah.
Chest out. Let's go. Right? Yes, conditions are difficult, but you react. We know what we're doing. Right?
Yeah.
Not the best guys in the world sitting back saying we're not gonna do X. We're not. Oh, you've got this, so maybe we no. Can you please entertain the world? Entertain the world, because more often than not, they're gonna blitz absolutely everybody. You ask the bowlers, who don't you want to bowl at in IPL? I don't want to bowl at AB de Villiers. Don't want to bowl at Virat Kohli. Don't want to do it. Bowl at everyone else before that, right? But not those guys. Who don't you want to face? You don't want to face Yuzvendra Chahal. Is good. It's a little bit. It gets people. It turns it. It's turning now. Revs on it. It dips. I know I'm supposed to be hitting him for 6, but I can't get to him. I can't get to him, and the ground is small. So attack.
Proactive. Just attack. I don't know why Bangalore did not do that. And to your point, Mr. Bhogle, the only Anderson that Virat probably has competition from is the guy who was in the Matrix. Otherwise, no other Anderson can stand up to Virat.
By the way, Chris Gayle has just come and said, I'm playing IPL 21.
He is. I think he should play 22.
Typical.
He said I'm universe boss.
He said I'm the universe boss. I don't get nervous.
Do you know those social media things about Zlatan Ibrahimovic, It's one of those, isn't it? Like, oh, Zlatan's got COVID. Ooh, I pity the virus.
That's right.
That sort of thing. Like, are you nervous? I'm the universe boss.
The older
America.
the old ones used to be the Chuck Norris jokes, and then in India they're the Rajnikant jokes, and they are the Zlatan jokes, the Zlat jokes. But let's have a look at the Bangalore bowling as well, and usually used to seeing, just discussed, Washington Sundar right up front. Today he came in to bowl last. He came in the 9th over. It's almost like he'd been punished. You get to bowl last. You don't get to. Morris, 4 overs, 22. 421 was Saini. 14 dot balls for him. Pretty impressive. Chahal, 3 overs, 35. Just the 1 wicket. Udana bowled only 2 for 14. Siraj, 3 for 44. There was an over where both Gayle and Rahul really took him apart. I think it was the 16th. And then Washington Sundar 4 for 38. Well, there you go.
I think he's underusing Udana.
Yeah.
I get the feeling that maybe Virat doesn't know him well enough, or Virat doesn't trust him enough yet, or he hasn't delivered in a pressure situation to earn the captain's trust. He's just underusing Udana. I think he's a better bowler than Virat has used him so far. So,
well, I mean, he's good. Well, Harsha, he's got a Moeen Ali in place of that. I mean, the fact is, I know that sort of jury's always out on him. I'm a huge Moeen Ali fan. I think that the option he gives you with the batting anywhere, you can send him to open, send him 4, 8. He's happy by anywhere. It gives you the bowling option as well. He's got him. If you're going to bowl Udana only 2 overs, and you're not going to get that much batting out of him, I mean,
the problem is the guy has got a drop now is Siraj. So he needs Udana as the other seamer.
Yeah, but he's got Umesh, right? Man for man, pretty much. He's got Umesh as well, sitting on the bench. You got a proper India test.
Correct. But the moment you have you need 35 of the last 2, you're a little scared throwing the ball to Umesh, good as he is, because he was part of the end overs problem. So one of the reasons they're playing Udana and Morris is to plug that end overs bowling, plug the death bowling.
Fair enough. I mean, that Pommie has been one of the chief concerns for Bangalore over the seasons, right? That they bleed buckets in the last 4.
Yeah, look, in today's game, I don't think we can look at that as a problem. I think we'd be looking in the wrong direction if we're looking at that as an issue. That's not the issue whatsoever today. For me, the issue today is they just didn't quite match it up right. So when you have 171, we said, what did we say? 171. I said, look, that's a good score, but you still have to bowl well. And on that wicket, because it's wearing, you have to bat well if you're going to chase. The stats tell you that the games are going that way. So as the fielding side, you've then got to try and work to make it as difficult as possible. Without a ball being bowled, you're saying, how do we make it as difficult as possible? Who are our men who are going to make it as difficult as possible? Then choose the crunch times and say, the men we say are going to make it as difficult as possible must be the ones bowling in crunch times. So first up, Morris, Saini, they must bowl. Then early on, we've got to test what the surface is doing. We've got to test whether these guys who are in such good form, if they've got through our 2 first guys, can they change the pace? Can they go against the pace that's changed and face 1 over from Chahal? Can they do it? If they do it, they've shown me they can do it. But I must play my guy because he's my guy. He's winning me games. Then take him out of the attack. Then bring another guy and say, right, can they do it against Sundar? I know he'll bowl straight. He'll be dead straight. We'll set the field. Where does he want them to be out? Yes, there are only 2 out, but I'm just trying to set the game up so that I know where I'm going. Yeah. And if I go 1 with Sundar and he goes okay, but I get the gut feel that they're going to take him down. Out he goes. Now the game plays out. Udana, can you bowl me 1? Why? You're an experienced international. This is just your job. You do this every day for Sri Lanka. Bowl 1 at the front, please, in those first 6 overs. Now it's set up. But if you get to the middle and that hasn't happened, then you're trying to catch it up.
Yeah, you've given the advantage away, and that's what happened today. It felt like Punjab was pretty much in control of this game for most of it. Leave aside maybe 1 or 2 overs of batting that Bangalore did, where you may say the 15th to the 20th, where they got a few runs. And with their bowling, Harsha, as well, perhaps, I don't know, maybe the last over where you felt like Chahal just sort of was in the game a little bit. Otherwise, Punjab would look back at this game and say, listen, we were in control for like 95% of this game. We were in control. So they'll take a lot from this game.
Yeah. We were winning the game. We suddenly got petrified of winning the game. And we just about got home in the end because KL Rahul has said afterwards, I don't know what speed my heart is beating at, which leads me to believe that there is a sense of relief, not a sense of victory in that changing room. Right? When he said there should be a sense of victory in that dressing room because you got your 2 points. But I just suspect that there might be a sense of relief rather than a sense of victory.
Exactly what I started with, saying that they've punctured, they've dented the confidence a little bit that they would have taken from the win had they done it 6. But anyway, they've got the 2 points. Yeah, they've got the 2 points.
We look at it from the outside. Yeah, but we don't know. But I just feel.
But again, in fairness, Rahul is not the kind of guy who shows elation on his face anyway. So we might just be thinking that he just looks relieved at the best of times, and he will be relieved today. But anyway, they'll take relief as well because they've got the 2 points. You look at the points table now. Suddenly, they've doubled their tally of this tournament. They have.
I love it.
They're still at the bottom, though.
Yeah, they're at the bottom, but they've got 2 wins against Bangalore. And what they will take from today's win is that they're good. They're good. They can do it. Hopefully, the monkey's off their back of doing that. We can't. We just get strangled in the home stretch. The last 5 meters we trip. Hopefully, that monkey's off their back. And next time, they can just press for the win a little more. But KL Rahul talking about his heart rate. When we talk about his stamina, let's talk about that because he was on the ground for the whole game today. So the whole game. The boost stamina meter, he's going to be there. Not only was he on the ground for the whole game, he was wicket keeper for half of it. That takes a lot of energy. And then he stayed not out. Where he would. It's obviously at the wrong end for the last ball. He would have liked to be in control of the situation, but got his team across. And Harsha, that's good. That's responsible. We like it.
And he only got 49 out of the 120 balls that were bowled at that time. So he wasn't exactly hogging the strike either. Yeah. But he'll be tired. It's a combination of tiredness and relief at the moment for KL Rahul. Because as Pommie said at the start, the super over, they pulled it, lost the super over. Then again against Kolkata, how they contrived to lose it, they still don't know. There's the Bermuda Triangle. There's all these other great mysteries of humanity. It'll be one of those over there. And today, they almost bettered themselves. So I think at the moment, they're just saying, hush, 2 point mil gaye, so jao. Now let's come out. At least we've got a few things going for us. Some things were right for us today. So our team was looking better. We got Maxwell to bowl at the start. Maybe he's given us an option. So tomorrow they'll probably sit and think, okay, we did a few things right,
I just hope that this win just unleashes KL Rahul a little bit. I just feel like he's just too good a player to be bogged. Looks like he's bogged down by responsibility just a bit because there's not too many runs coming, not too much support coming from everywhere else. Pommie, yes?
It's not affecting his batting.
No,
Goodness gracious. He is batting like a dream.
But Pommie, I still, there's more. See, I'm a diehard KL Rahul fan. So I'm looking at that and going, no, he's got a little more. I know he's...
Don't be greedy.
Come on.
Greedy.
I can sit outside and be greedy.
Putting on a show. 21 of 19. 132 of the most beautiful ones.
But Pommie, look at Bangalore. Look at Bangalore. 132 of 69.
Should I go on?
I want to see. Here's what I'm saying. If you just show that list, and I really need you to have some chamomile tea. I know that you're bouncing off the walls today, but you see that Bangalore 132 of 16, and that's how good he is, right? The others, he's getting the runs. He's not getting them at the same pace, and the reason why he's not getting it at the same pace is perhaps because he has to just also account for responsibility. Is all I'm saying.
The reason I will not disagree with that is because everything must have context, right? Everything. And we started off here talking about how, don't lift the cake off, out of the kitchen and walk with it to the dining room table. lie down and, crawl on your stomach, right? Why? Because you've tripped before. You've tripped and dropped it before. So there must be context. And I'll put this on top of that and say, despite all the nonsense, all the failures, you still rack up all those numbers.
Yeah.
And they are still sumptuous, scintillating runs. What? He can't do better than that.
I can.
Oh, no, man.
He can. You'll see it now.
Brilliant.
You'll see he will be doing even better. He's got 9.5 out of 10 right now. He's going to get 10 on 10, perhaps 11 on 10, 1 mark for good handwriting from the next game on, because he's got those points. And I don't have any points, but I've got some. This is some sleep tea for me. Would you like some?
Ladies and gentlemen, in the left corner, Gaurav Kapur. In the right corner, Sunil Narine. May the best fan win.
Hey, if he does, they're going to have the greatest turnaround ever.
I want to see
they'll
that.
get into the playoffs, man. If he plays any better than he is playing,
won't that be an amazing story, though?
it would be a warrior.
It would be a divided. Let's have a look at our My 11 Circle. This is our ultimate team of the day. How many of these did you have in your care, Rahul? Picked him as your captain. Chris Gayle, your vice captain. We had said Chris Morris, and Chris Morris gave you a bit. Of course, he gave you a fair number of points today. You got to have people like Virat Kohli and Devdutt Padikkal, and you got to have all these people in your team. Let's see who is our champion of the day. Our My 11 Circle champion of the day is Arvind Singh Rawat. Congratulations from Uttarakhand. Oh, listen, hang on a second. Chris Gayle playing and somebody's got 333 points. Whoa.
Hey, brilliant.
No,
Serendipity.
You said, Sarji, मेरे तो 0.75 ज़्यादा थे उससे. I scored more, 0.75 more.
You got a little more. I just rounded it off to the number that was convenient for my story.
I'm Rawat.
That's right. He did it. Well done. Well done, Mr. Rawat. Congratulations to you. All right. That wraps up business for this game. But, remember, tomorrow it's another game. God thanks it's Friday. It's time for the weekend. What game do we have? Ooh, look at that. It's a marquee game. Mumbai playing Kolkata in Abu Dhabi. You've got Mumbai, who just supremely consistent. That is just something that they do every year on year. And then you have Kolkata, and Harsha, fair to say, never a dull moment with the Knight Riders.
No. And they're at the moment at that number 4 position, middle of the table. They desperately want these 2 points to say, okay, let's breathe a little easier. Let's stay in the top 4. Mumbai is saying, you know what? We get another one. Look, Delhi are in the home stretch. They've already got 6. Mumbai get another win, 6. They're in the home stretch, literally to qualify. So it's Kolkata at 4-3. Kolkata get to 5-3. They're feeling very good. But yeah, with Kolkata, are they going to have enough of Russell? Are they going to play Sunil Narine again? What's the story with Narine? Are they going to tell him you can't bowl a particular ball? Are they going to tell him you can't bowl more than this speed? Are they going to hold him back for the later stages? Because suddenly, no Sunil Narine, and their balance gets upset. They play Tom Banton at the top. They're a bowler short. So they've got a few things to look at with the balance of their side.
Pommie, here's the thing. We did speak about it before Kolkata's last game. This is after Sunil Narine got called, right? We spoke about it, and he said maybe it's Sunil Narine's in the gaze of the umpires. Maybe you just leave him out for a game or two. And I know we suggested it there, but in case they are sort of doing that, what's the long game here? What would your suggestion be to the team? Just like, if you want to play him and he gets into trouble, do it now rather than waiting for the playoffs.
Yeah, I was very interested in the press release that they put out when he got called or reported, as the case may be. That they said, well, hold on, what's going on? We don't understand. I mean, this guy's been here bowling for us for a long time, and we've not picked up anything. We've not had anything said, to say, well, hold on, we think there might be something going on there.
In a while.
Yeah. So it's come out of the blue for them, and I think the suggestion, certainly my own reading of the press release, is to say, hold on, you're not being good sports there, because you should come and say to us that, hey guys, we think there's a story there, before you just say, right, we've reported his actions. Like that, it can't come out of the blue. You've got to kind of be watching it. You've got to say, I'm watching you. You've got, which is, and I don't disagree, because that happens, and I'm not saying bowl with an illegal action because you're going to get a warning before and whatever. And I know he's had trouble with his action, but he hasn't had for a very long time. He was cleared for a long time. So if he is encroaching in that area, then, have a word. And so that it doesn't come out of the blue. So I suppose in the end, you don't know what to do if you're Kolkata, because if you play him and it's the same umpires or match officials, they're obliged to kind of go again if they think it's the same.
Yeah. Depends on what speed he's bowling at. I think it was to do with the speed. Towards the end, he had cranked up the speed, and maybe they thought at the cranked up speed he was his elbow was going a little. Maybe that's what they thought, but yeah.
Maybe.
But I mean, Harsha, it's more than just thinking, right? It's not just a suspicion. I mean,
Correct.
for them to confirm a warning, I'm guessing behind the curtain, there's a lot of science and a lot of replays and analytics that go on, right? So, which means that there is some sort of. They were certain, right? Okay. Well, I mean, they've got to address it, because he's important for Kolkata. He is. There's no secret.
I think with Sunil Narine, the moment, and I don't know what that cutoff is. I think with Sunil Narine, the moment the speed goes above a certain number, everyone starts to wonder, okay, what's happening here? And as Joy was on this program, Joy was with the side the last time that he was called. He was reported, and they specifically said it's this ball. It's the fast off break that you're bowling. That is the problem ball. He could continue bowling as long as he didn't bowl that fast off break. I don't know if he's been told this time which ball it is. If he's been told, he can just bowl the other ones and continue playing, even though that would take away his effectiveness. Then everyone knows what the situation is. My feeling though was that if they rest him, they will actually play someone like Chris Green, who's a more like-for-like replacement. I mean, he had his action reported apparently once. But he's a more like-for-like replacement, because you get another bowling option, you get a brilliant fielder and some runs down the order.
Yeah. Let's bring up the squad here, Pommie. It was a little strange, right? They go into the last game, the opposition's adding another bowler, and you're adding another batsman.
Yeah, my issue with him was having added the batsman, as much as the guy's got a decent reputation and is a good young player from England and bats at the top of the order. You've got another fella there who does well at the top of the order in Rahul Tripathi, and he's just done well for you. So I think you've got to go with him. And yes, you've got to do the rearrangement. You can't have Shubman batting at number 3. So Banton, adjust, fella. Yes, come in. It's not your preferred position, but we could lose a wicket in the first 2 overs or whatever it is. So come in at 3, because the guy, who came in before you is batting well, opening the batting. So let's go there. But to have him a long way down, I think that's just a problem. It's not using your resources well.
But that's the thing with Kolkata that we've seen. That, I mean, they're playing good cricket, but there just seems to be this confusion over the batting order, which when we see, there's just no one getting a significant run in one position. It's almost like if you make light of it, it's almost like, are they picking a number out of a hat and then coming out? Because Morgan's one of he's your best option for number 4, but he doesn't come at 4. Rahul Tripathi has played at 8, and then at 1, and then at 7, and it's just, I don't get it.
I think the last couple of games, they've got 1, 3, 4, 5, 6 set, which is better than what they were started the season. I think they've realized Karthik 5, Russell 6, or maybe Karthik 5 and 6.
Maybe halfway through, it's about time, right? Yeah, but I just hope they stick to that, because
I don't know. In that game in Abu Dhabi, Dinesh Karthik said, look, Brendan McCullum's a very successful coach. He's a fine thinker. He's an outstanding white ball personality. He's come in with some thoughts. So let's go with those thoughts. And if those thoughts don't work, I'll go back to 5. So I think that's what happened eventually. He's gone back to 5. Andre Russell has gone back to 6. And I think they finally got back to the batting order. They should have been right at the start.
Yeah.
But if Narine doesn't play, Russell's got to bowl 4 overs every game. They're skating a bit on thin ice, I think.
Yeah, and they don't want to get Russell in the same position that he was in last season, where he would sort of almost like stop in the middle of his run up and you'd see him on his haunches and with the physio running out. You don't want to do that. Russell, great competitor, wants to contribute, not getting as many with the bat, but he'll want to do that with the ball. And for me, that's every player wants to be in it. Every bowler wants to bowl 4 overs. Every batsman wants to bat 120 balls. But it's up to you as team management to preserve them and to optimize their talent.
Yeah, look, there are a lot of things that must combine in order for a guy to be able to, one, bat in preferred position and contribute the way he wants, and bowl all 4 overs. A lot of the time, you're having to react to situation of the game. That's how it goes. That's the nature of 2020 cricket, where you must make an impact in a situation perhaps that you didn't think you'd have to go into. But then someone would say, well, hold on, did you plan adequately if you didn't think that was going to be your situation? And so often we hear it said, you say to the bowlers, well, you're bowling 1 over spells. What's happening? Well, the captain says, I bowl 1 in the power play, 1 in the middle, and 2 at the back. That's what I do. I must be ready. And that's just how it is. As far as fitness is concerned, this tournament is grueling, guys. And I know people say, oh, it's only 4 overs, it's only 20 overs in the field or whatever. It's grueling on the body in that it's high octane, but also it's grueling on the mind. So much is taken out of you because you can't turn away for a single ball for all 40 overs. And when you're in the field and, fielding and bowling, even more so for the second part, or whichever one you do, at least the bowlers don't really start thinking about batting. But if you're a batsman in the game, all through the game, you've got to be right mind on, and it takes a lot out of the guys. So, yeah, it's a big thing to keep guys fit.
It does. And Harsha, we haven't spoken about the pandemic for a while, like on the show, but that's it's an integral part, right? I mean, usually when they're playing this in India, they're also taking a flight every second day and they're just sort of crisscrossing the country and, sleeping on bags. But this time, and you guys know that as well, because you're in a bio bubble. So, I mean, that can be emotionally and mentally draining as well.
Yeah. It's not fun being in a bio bubble, but at least you're coming back to the same room every day. You're not packing and unpacking and getting on a plane and coming back. So to that extent, the fatigue is less. But remember, the first half of the tournament was played in a very hot and humid conditions. So that was taking a lot out of you too. But yeah, I mean, I've had days when I've not felt great about just being all by myself in my room. So I'm sure they're feeling that way too. So that's going to take a toll, no doubt.
Well, okay, let's have a look at the Mumbai team. And the Mumbai team, well, they don't make no changes because
no.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Just got the one change that they have made through the tournament, which is Saurabh Tiwari played the first 2 games, got injured, made way for Ishan Kishan. And Harsha, they may just play this 11 right through.
Except that if in the week before, suddenly a guy gets injured, they don't have anyone who's match fit to come into the side. So I think from time to time, maybe they'll wait till they get 7 wins. If they can get to 7 wins in the next 2 games, and they're almost there, they might start bringing in Nathan Coulter-Nile, or maybe they might play Coulter-Nile tomorrow for Pattinson as a like-for-like replacement, rest Pattinson a little bit. But beyond that, I don't see them making any changes. There's number 4, Ishan Kishan. The other day in a tricky chase, he made 28 from 15, which is a good performance. So I think that it would be unfair on Ishan Kishan if they brought someone else in there. Quinton de Kock has just delivered, and Pattinson has just had 1 average game. I think he's lifted that side as this third seamer comes and hits the deck hard and bowls really well alongside Bolt and Bumrah. So they don't need to make any change unless they think they need to create a match fit bench.
Well, I mean, there's 2 ways of looking at it. One is, yes, that if they're playing the same 11 for the first 10 games, it's not about getting someone who's match fit, it's getting someone who's awake, because everybody else is just pretty much napping, saying my chance will never come. Or you think these are professionals, they got to hit the ground running.
Yeah, so a couple of things, I think. The first is that it's not so much going to be about making sure that guys are coming on and getting some time out in the middle so that they're okay for when the time comes, finals, whatever, qualifiers, whatever it is, as much as it is about we've found guys who've got into a groove. We've got to keep them in a groove. We've got to make sure that they maintain their form. And is it okay to keep going and just play each game? Are there sufficient rests in between that they're going to be okay? Or can we rest them somewhere along the line and not, tamper with their form? Can they go one game out and spend 4 days off the field, out of battle, so to speak, and still come back and pick up where they were? Or do we need to just keep them on the field? And that's the balancing act they're doing. With regard to the guys who are off the field, as you said, this is your job, be ready. That's it. Because these guys who are on the field, they're doing it, and you can see they're doing it. So if and when the time comes, you can't be telling me, oh, well, I haven't had a game. Of course you haven't had a game. The guys have played well. But simulate as much as you can, practice as much as you can, be as fit as you can be, and let's go with you're going to do it on the day. Because
all the teams do. I think what each of these teams does very well is to simulate conditions for those that are not playing.
Interesting.
If it ain't broke,
don't fix it. Don't fix it. And that's why we complain about the joy factor question, because it's so long. But at the end of the day, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, man. And these questions,
we love the joy factor. I love it. I can speak for myself.
We all love it, but these questions do make you feel a little sort of knowledge broke, right? After you read them, you're just like, I thought I knew stuff, but I don't.
What am I reading?
The other day, we had someone's jersey number multiplied by a record that only a certain number of people had, multiplied by the number of brothers, children that Kevin Curran has produced who played first-class cricket, and the answer was somebody's shirt number. He's trying to de-Google it.
I feel like Joy has a huge whiteboard on which he just draws just lines and patterns, and his hair is like all like that, and it's just the de-Googling process is what I think that's what we need to shoot, like the making of the joy factor questions. Let's look at the one that he served us up today. Don't try to decode it. It's very late at night. The second name on this list of test cricketers was commentating in this tournament. The third is a mentor for one of the southern teams. The fourth is a current West Indian cricketer, and Gordon Greenidge is in fifth place. Who's in first place? What is this list? Let's just put you out of your misery and me out of mine. Charles Bannerman, highest percentage of a team's runs scored in a test innings.
That was in the 19th century.
I think it was, 1877. He said it in the first ever test. It was never broken. Michael Slade at 2, VVS at 3, Carlos Brathwaite at 4, and Gordon Greenidge at 5.
Yeah. That is, you're not going to get that, surely. Nobody got that. Did someone get that? Did someone get that? Cricbuzz family? Not you. You didn't get it.
Me? Look, I couldn't even understand the question, let alone attempt the answer.
Man, Cricbuzz family, that if you whoever's got this, kudos, man. Like that's what?
Fam. Oh,
like,
it's
like right there.
It's Harsha.
I've seen that name before.
He's won before.
Yeah, why is it with Deadpool?
Oh,
why am I Deadpool?
Jeez. Hi, Harsha.
Wow.
Deadpool.
I'll tell you what it is.
There might be a quiz question itself. Why is it Deadpool _444? Because somebody in 1877 at 3:32 in the afternoon scored a certain number of runs. 3 plus 3 is 6, 6 plus 2 is 8, 4 and 4 is 8. So there must be another 4 somewhere. So he made it 444.
Okay. Yeah, we'll see you tomorrow. Okay. Yeah.
I'm just thinking that nobody got this. And so Joy has made this handle himself to answer the question. And he just thought he'd be polite and say hello to his old friend.
Oh,
Here's the right answer. Hi, Harsha.
Deadpool.
Oh, man.
We're on to you, Joy. We are on to you. Don't fool us for 1 second, brother.
Not for a second. You're not
No,
fooling
for a
Gaurav. I don't think that's it, though.
Conspiracy theorists in the house, man. I've learned from the best, Ajay Jadeja. Trust me, everything is a conspiracy. Everything.
Everything
Well,
is a
that's-
theory.
Everything is. Well, we got Joy here tomorrow. I shall throw in the harsh questions, gentlemen. You don't worry about that. I shall get this out of him. If I have to tickle him with a feather duster, I shall get this out of him. Big thank you.
Good luck reaching him.
Yes. Just like Harsha reached you with his right hand when he tapped on the wall.
Yeah,
With him being in Abu Dhabi and you being in Dubai, I can do this. I can do this. Big thank you, Mr. Harsha Bhogle. Thank you very much for joining us this evening. Thank you. A big thank you to Mr. Pommie Mbangwa. I hope you're not going to be awake all night because we've just wired you with what has happened in the game today.
Man, honestly, it's hard to sleep after these games.
Ginseng, honey, ginger, hot water,
I'm doing
Chamomile.
that.
chamomile.
Not a green
And a
tea.
melatonin.
Nothing. Green tea. Just green.
Just do that. I'm Gaurav Kapur. Big thank you to all of you for watching My 11th Circle presents Cricbuzz Live. It's been a real funny evening. Thank you so much. Good night.